Morning, everybody. I want to speak today about what happens when I do a session, in that I've had a number of inquiries about, can you work with my horse and myself at the same time? And I just thought I'd address that. I'm just going to do a little aside here. This is a part of my walk, my morning walk. I'm so lucky to have this in my backyard, where I quite often post photos as the sun comes up, and I so love this part of the walk because as the year turns, that rising sun obviously moves, and so in the high summer it's right round to the left, which is I'm sort of facing almost due east here, so it's much further towards the north, if you like, and that's high summer. And then by winter it'll be coming up over those hills over there, and I just love the connection to the spin of the world and the turn of the year when I walk this particular part. Sorry, that was just a little aside. I'll get back to the subject matter now. So the question is basically, why can I not do a session which works for both horse and rider at the same point? That's the basic inquiry. And the answer is I can. There's no problem doing that in essence. But for me, when I work with a certain person or horse, I want it to be individual. My intention is on them and them alone. And as I've described, that my work is about conditioning the space, and that, if I'm working in a barn, I'll work with one horse, and then you might look and 4 horses down the track are all doing the same. They've all gone in the zone. Yes, that totally happens. But the thing is that with my way of looking at it, and who am I to say? I can't say this categorically with a scientific explanation, but my feel is that when I set an intention to work with, say, the rider, that is all about what they need. Now, I don't know what they need, but as I've sort of mentioned, my analogy is like opening a door, and in the room there's a pile of books, and if the person could read the books in a certain order, picking out certain sentences, they would find their way forward. And my job is to make sure the door can be opened firstly, and then laying the books out in the correct order with the page open and the sentence highlighted. And as I always say, I can do that, but I can't force the person to go in the room and actually read the books. So for me, my intention when I work with someone is very specific. It's about helping that particular system, be it a horse or a person, to actually find the information they need. And the information they need is going to be different from their horses. I'm not saying there might be some overlap at some stage, but in essence they're 2 different species, and although they're innately connected, their experience of this life is going to be different and from a different perspective. So when I work with a horse, again, my intention is on helping that system, the horse, find what it needs to move into balance and so into health. But the thing is this, that another way of looking at it is, say, to help the person, I played them their favourite music, and that was the thing that helped them move into balance to find the answers they need. That music is playing out into the field, and I'm sure we've all been in the situation where we might hear somebody playing the piano, walk past a house and some music can be heard, and we enjoy that music, and for that moment we step into a different place. Well, I think it's a bit like that when I work in the field, that opening of the field, that conditioning of the field resonates out, and any system nearby can pick up that change. It can help them find the answer as well. But, and again, this is my feeling from the way I've worked, the intention is quite unique to each system. And so although there's a resonance going out, so that neighbouring systems, like I said, the horses in the barn might be able to get an echo of that change, it's not completely on them. So from my perspective, it's not as efficient, powerful, as influencing, I don't know what word to use there properly, as if I worked with them as a unique system. So I hope that makes sense, because I've had quite a few inquiries about this. The other question I get asked quite regularly is people might come to me and say they'd like a session for both themselves and their horse, and which way round should they do it. And for me, I'll always say, let's do you, the person, first. And the reasoning behind this is, as I think we've all got deeper into the knowledge of how our energy and emotion can affect our horses, if we can balance ourselves out, then there is a great chance that the horse will be able to balance itself without any further need of a session. And by that I mean that when we go to our horse to maybe go and ride or work with them, or even just handle them, how we feel most definitely has an effect on the horse and can affect the horse's behaviour. So where we might perceive there is something that's bothering the horse, and therefore it might need the help of a session, if we work with ourselves first, there is the possibility that because we balance ourselves out energetically, and so we may not, when we have a session, it may be that you don't even realise a change has happened. You can't put your finger on it. You can't say categorically, oh, that's changed. But something has changed energetically, and that's what your horse will pick up on. So for me, I'll always say, let's do the person first, and then let's leave it, 2-3 weeks or more, and see if you then feel that your horse needs a session. Because my experience has been that when the person has had a session and become more balanced in all of the, physical, mental, emotional and spiritual levels, then the horse picks this up and actually changes because of it, changes for the better, because maybe there was a slight jangly energy coming from the person which made the horse jangle. But once the person has had the session, that's no longer there, so the horse in itself doesn't have to jangle. I hope that helps. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful here this morning, and I'm really grateful to be able to walk here and enjoy the peace and listen to the sounds. So wishing you all an absolutely beautiful day, and sending you all lots of loves and hugs and lovely energy, and hopefully we'll speak soon. Take care.